not the beginning. Just a voice like a riot rocket every revision. But you listen to the tone and the violent rhythm, and know the words sound steady, some empty within them. We say yeah.
Here we go. Illustrator. It is the program that pretty much defines a graphic designer's ability to understand the programs. With Illustrator, you could do 2D concept work, you could do 3D concept work. Illustrator is pretty much the language of graphic design. Photoshop is good, but it only gets you so far. Illustrator is where you really get to create them interesting artwork. So keep in mind for the intro classes and the refresh class, basically Friday we didn't critique because last week was messy, but we did an intro with silhouettes. Now, you don't have to just stick with silhouettes, okay? So I have a lot of stuff that I will attach to the assignment afterwards. So I'm going to go into Illustrator. Now, the great thing with Illustrator is this. Once you create it and you delete the original reference, that becomes your work. Okay, so you could create it, you could change it, you could play with it any which way you want. And when we get to the logo designs in a couple of weeks, you're going to understand like this is the tool that makes that happen. I'm going to new file, 15 by 15 inches. Make sure it's on inches, please. CMYK color, screen, everything looks good. Boom. Now let's hope I don't make the same mistake I did in my last demo, in which I started to prep the pen tool and then out of nowhere, it was one of those where it's like, wait a minute. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go File, Open, and I'm just going to pull in a nice Stormtrooper maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I'm in a Stormtrooper kind of mood. Okay, so remember, this is RGB. So if I click on this and I go to my fill, notice there's no swatches. Okay, don't panic. I'm going to press Control C, Control V. This gives me my reference photos. Now if you notice, there's swatches. Now I'm going to close the RGB because I don't want to get too crazy about it. If you notice, I'm not making this bigger because I don't want it bigger. Okay, what I want is my pen tool because there are some straight lines, don't get me wrong, but for the most part, I could do probably all of this with my curve tool. So what I want to do is prep my curve tool. I'm going to click off, deselect my image, boom, click my pen tool. Change the fill to blank. And this is the key. Like, honestly, it happens more often than not. I did a demo on Friday and a girl she was like, it's putting color and I can't see anything. It's because the fill was still on. And that's fine. So, I mean, it's not that I'm mocking her or anything. It's like she was really, really concerned and confused. I was like, no, it's not you. It's the program. Trust me. This happens. So I'm going to put my stroke on. My thing is since there's a lot of black and white, I'm going to put my stroke to like a red. I could change the stroke later. So if I want to, I go and start here. And when I click this, I'm just going to click it out. And I can see this blue line as kind of my blueprint line. I'm just going to go around here. Might have to fix that later. Notice I'm not too worried about it. I'm going to find it in the edit, as they say. Okay. Now remember, this is not a silhouette. There are some complex shapes, which I'll get to in a sec. Okay. For the most part, I'm going to take my first pass at this. Go double click there and change my path line just a little bit. There we go. Okay. All I'm doing is just establishing my path. Okay. This is where Illustrator takes time. Photoshop, you're like, oh, Photoshop's so quick. Yeah, but you're also manipulating someone else's work instead of creating your own. So I'm just going to curve this around, double click here, get that straight line. Go here. Go right there. That's my first pass. It's not bad. So now here comes the interesting part. So if I start here, right, it won't let me really. See, so I got to start over here. So that's where I'm like, I'm going to press delete. So I'm going to start here. Okay. there. If I try to go to this line, see how it stops it anyways because it wants me to continue that line. So what I need to do with this to connect them, double click there, pull it to that path. Double click there, pull it to that path. Okay. And I could come back out and get that in a sec just with this. Press escape. There we go. Escape. Double click. Double click. Oopsie. Grab the wrong point. Grab that point. My double clicking in there got it. There we go. Okay, so I got that one. Now with this one, it's going to get even like more. It's easy at first glance, and then you realize, wait, there's a lot of lines. So always try to keep it simple. My advice. Escape. There we go. Now I'm going to switch over to my just regular pen tool. I could start on the line here and go there. Escape. Start here. Because it's a straight line. Pen tool, for some reason, does not work like that. Escape. 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 Ta-da. Okay. So I have that there. Now keep in mind, I know I have a pattern like that over there. So what I'm going to do is try to make it easier on myself. Just go in here. Take my direct select. Yeah, it's going to move it all. Oh well. So I might do one of these. Boom. Shift. 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 Control C. Control V. Anyways, let's not try that. You're going to look at that part of the video and be like, what was he trying to do? I was trying to make it easier on myself over there, but it's okay. So from here, what I'm going to do is take my curve pen tool. I'm still all loaded in my properties over there, so I'm going to go here. If you notice, I'm not touching those lines. It's okay. So if you notice, I'm not too worried about this curve part. I'll show you why in a sec. Because believe it or not, I learned this on a Stormtrooper mask. Oh, I don't even want to say how long ago. Okay, so then I could go here. Right about there. Go here. Escape. It's just tracing along. And this one, hopefully you guys can understand what I'm going to do with this. I'm just going to increase the stroke in a second on that one. Escape. Watch. Remember the word 5. There we go. Direct select. There we go. Direct select. Boom. Okay. So notice it went over. So there's a pen tool here. I could take this edge here. Put it right like so. Now I could expand this point to the edge of the black. Could also put a point there. There we go. Looks a little bit better. And then down here, direct select. There we go. There we go. And let me just expand that. It's a little tedious, but it's better than doing like 4 or 5 different lines. While I'm here, I'm just going to do a connect there. Connect that cluster. Boom. It's looking okay. It's getting there. Did I connect that one? No, I didn't. There we go. There we go. Okay, and then what I could do now is go from here to here, escape, here to here, escape, here to here, escape, here to here, escape, escape. Sometimes you do have to double click escape, just keep that in mind. There we go. There we go. There we go. Escape. And I mean, for the most part, you're seeing where I'm going with it. I could just be like, oh, good luck, but I'm like, no. So watch this. So I got this. I'm going to go back with my curve pen tool. Click here, to here, to here. Notice I didn't double click it. It's okay. I could manipulate those points. Go, escape, direct select. Okay. And I can use that little handle there, little handle here. This is where Illustrator takes time. This isn't one where you're like, huh, I did it. I could spend like 30 minutes doing whatever now. No. You have time to work. You have time to do all this. This is why I give you time. And trust me, if you don't want to take the time, someone else does. Somebody else wants to make a living at this. They'll make a decent living. One of the jobs I just looked at, notice if you move the whole piece, you can move back. So I'm just going to pull that in. Ta-da. Okay. Might just do this one. Here we go. Escape. There we go. Escape. Okay. Curve pen tool. Now I'm just doing some finite stuff and I'm almost there. But for the most part, the tracing is one of those things this week where I just want you to practice it. The more you practice it, the quicker you will become at it, the more confident you'll be, the more you'll go through some stuff going, what do I do with this? You know? And the big thing too is like the tool we use, the fleur de lis looking one, that one's kind of critical. Now these big black areas are very interesting. So in Photoshop, you just be like, can select blah blah blah. There's no select like that. Okay, so we got to trace that in a second. So I'm going to just trace up here, escape. So I'm going to start here, go here, around. That's kind of where a Stormtrooper really excels is the mask alone is almost designed for Illustrator. It's like, ooh, now I could really trace this. Press escape. And even if you're not into Star Wars, a dirt bike helmet or something like that definitely lends itself to all these lines and nuances. So keep that in mind. And then what I could do here, take this one, I'm going to start here, 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 there, escape, here, 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 intersect, escape. The big thing too is then I'm going to take this one, give it a little curve, get in here, Give it a little curve, give it a little curve. And this is all your options, whatever you feel comfortable doing. Okay, there is no right or wrong way to do this. So that's always the thing, is it's like, ooh, just keep that there. I keep pressing the wrong button on my laptop. It's driving me nuts, sorry. Okay. So then from there, I'm going to go over here. If you notice, my fill is not on. Neither is my stroke. That does happen sometimes. So I'm going to press escape for a second. I'm going to turn it up to like 5. Ooh, there we go. It does happen from time to time. The good important thing is the fill didn't turn back on. If the fill had turned on, that would have sucked. They'd be like, why me? Okay. So the Stormtrooper's coming along. All I need now is the eyes and that. But I'm showing you those pieces for that reason. So now what I'm going to do is go here with this. I'm going to start right here. Boom, boom. Now, can I do this with the curve tool? Yes. Do I want to? No. Because I kind of want to do one of these. Then close my shape. If I did this right, Control C, Control V. That's what I always hate, is when you click on the shape, Control C, Control V, you get it that way, okay? You can't do it when you just did the line segment because it'll only copy the line segment. So now to flip this, what I do is go transform, reflect. Remember, put some mirror in the middle. There we go. There we go. I could just kind of angle it. What's quicker? I don't know. But I know that I don't want to do that again. That's driving me nuts already. That was weird. I'm going to say don't do that. Okay. Just fix that with my handles. There we go. I'm going to play with that later, okay? That was definitely one where it's like, why me? Why am I demo? There we go. Press escape, direct select. Smooth those out just slightly. It's your preference. Which one's quicker? I like it because it's precise. There we go. It's pretty precise, if I must say so myself. I'm actually really kind of liking the orange line on it. I'm kind of digging it. So now I'm just going to go here. Escape. Direct select again. If you notice, this is taking time. It's not going to be one of those where I'm going to be like, I could do 50 concepts in a week. No, that's absurd. Especially at high quality, and especially if you're doing hand tracing. That's why, I was debating whether I wanted it to be like, I need 2 hand tracings. I need 4 of the secret way. And I'm like, no. And trust me when I say the secret way is not going to be a secret for long. Once you see it, you'll never be able to unsee it. You'll see it everywhere. And you'll be like, how did I not see that before? And then you're going to be like, that's why. There we go. So that's my Stormtrooper foreman. Just got to do the mouth part. This is going to be fun. I'm looking at it. I'm going to start off over here. Click, click, double click. Click here, double click. Just because of that curve. I was actually wondering a second ago, what am I going to do to get it? then it's actually tracking pretty darn good, which is a good thing. And right here, I'm just going to turn back in and press escape. Remember, to close the loops now, I'd go for this direct select tool. I double click that point. There you go. There you go. And here, double click you. Boom. It's actually a lot easier than I thought it would be. Let's not jinx that. This one here, this shape, I'm going to try to get with the pen tool. It's kind of your preference on how you get these shapes in there, but I know it has a lot of rigid edges, so that's kind of where I'm going with it. And I'm just going to start winging it around, that sort of thing, and I'm going to close that one, press escape. Then I could go from here, go around, around and around, here, 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 here. There we go. Press escape. So right there, I got my Stormtrooper traced. Now this is the part that kind of always excites me because I'm like, ooh, it looks so cool, right? So I go to my layers. I'm going to drop it down. Go to the bottom of all this. Grab this guy. Notice it's now close to the trash can. Press delete. For the moment. All right. So where I paused that was because I wanted to get Josh's name right. Joshua Vila Contreras was a Multimedia 1 student last year. He found a new way to color it, okay? So remember, the old way is if you were to, let me move Josh's name over here. You select everything here, and then you would go to the Shape Builder tool, okay? Now, if you notice, that's all one shape because the lines aren't connected. This would be frustrating because this might work, it might not, okay? So keep that in mind. So Josh found a new way of doing this. So what you do is afterwards you grab the object, okay? You group it. Then you go up to object, okay? Now a lot of the times you could go to expand, okay? But I got a few things here. Let me go expand, sprint, that sort of thing. So make sure you have an outline. Boom, Control A, okay. Expand, boom, okay. So got expand and I'm going to press OK. So once I do that, everything's expanded. I'm going to go up to object again. Okay. So after that, I'm going to go down to a place called Live Paint. Now, if you notice, it has a little dropout area and you're going to go make. So once you do that, I can press K on my keyboard and see now I could go here and now I could make all those things. Okay. So let me change the color to like a green. Actually, hell, let's go with this. Okay. Boom. 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 Now I could color this so much easier. Look at that. Look how easy this is. Okay. Boop. Boop. Zoom in for those tight ones. This makes it so much easier. And Josh being modest, I'd be like, oh, I just swatched this. And I'm like, no, dude. Like, you did it. So there we go. This is by far so much easier. And it's so much like, yes. Okay. And I could change to this gradient. And voila, I'm done. What would have taken me, because the problem is to make it the old way, you would have to connect every single line, and then sometimes I wouldn't do it right, and it was so frustrating. Last year, that's where I lost a lot of the students. This year, look at this. Look at this. Boom. Done. Okay, the only thing, of course, is like now the stroke. What is the stroke? Oh, the stroke is still red. Okay. Let me change that to a green or something. That's the only thing is before you do it, I should have changed the stroke back, but it will put a stroke around the stroke. So it's kind of funny. It's like, oops. So there we go. Turn that stroke off. That's why I say now, really expand with it and play with it. And then Tuesday I'll show you the secret of Illustrator. But this is great just for tracing and for coloring this week. All right. And thank you once again to Joshua Vila Contreras. His name is here. Boom, boom. I put it in a Pokemon font because he loves Pokemon. Boom. Joshua Vila Contreras. Let me put coloring there for him too. Coloring style. I'm just playing around now. There we go. There we go. All right. Remember, Tuesday I'll show you the secret. Thursday you can remember all this. This is it in a nutshell. Have a good one till next time.